Okay, let's start with the Unix concept. Again, guys, my focus will be on technical from technical perspective. I will not be teaching any theoretical part of it. Wherever required, I will definitely discuss, but my major focus will be on technical part of Unix concepts, and I'll be explaining very basic concepts. Once we are good with basics, then we will go for intermediary concepts. So I will be using for demonstrating the Unix command. I will be using the git bash. Let me try to open it again and show you git bash. So this git bash will give me this is kind of a simulator. This will give me a feeling like I'm working in a Unix environment, but I am, if you can see, I am working on a Windows, but this is just kind of a simulator I am using. I have seen that in many times, not many times, but in few cases, the Unix commands do not give expected result in this git bash. So for those kind of scenarios, I will be using my virtual environment for you guys to explain. Otherwise, I will be using git bash. Okay, so let me first start with navigation. Like how will you navigate when you are in Unix? So when we work in Windows environment, navigating between the directories is very simple. We all have this button of going back to previous directory, or wherever you want to go, you just need to double click on the directory. If you want to open, you just have to right click and you can open it, right? So similarly, we do not have these kind of options in Unix. So how we are going to navigate? If I have to jump back to my parent directory, I want to check my child directory, I want to go inside it, I want to check what all content it's have, how we will navigate. Okay, so so first of all, if I want to know that I am currently on which directory, if I will take, I will compare it with Windows so that you understand it very clearly. If I am in Windows, so I can see here over here that I am inside which directory. I am inside C, user, Sanjay Bedwal, desktop, and then sessions. Similarly, if you want to see in Unix, you have this command pwd. You can remember this command with the the meaning of this command is basically present working directly, and with this name only you can remember this command pwd. Let me run this command, and it is showing me that I am inside C drive, users, and Sanjay Bedwal. Right? Let's say, let me also go back to this directory. Not this directory. Just a minute, guys. Okay. So this is the command to check I am inside this directory. Now another command. Let me go back. Okay. Okay. Now if you want to check inside this directory how many folders or what are contents I have, how many folders or how many files I have, you just need to run a query as ls. Ls is a short form for list. Listing. You are trying to list the content of in terms of directories and files. Let me do a ls command, and you can see I have these many. Either these are files or these are folders, but I don't know what all these are. Just for better clarity, let me just do one thing. Let me just a minute. Okay. Let me clear the screen. You can clear the screen using this clear command. Okay. Now, let me again cross check what is my present working directory. My present working directory is Sanjay Bedwal, desktop, and sessions. Now, I again want to know that what all directories and files I have inside this session. Then I have a command as ls, which is nothing but list command. Now you can see here that I have f1.txt, query.sql, and test directory over here. This command bash is having a functionality where it is highlighting directory as a blue color. So multiple, you will see this kind of color mechanism in Linux. Multiple Linux provider will give you different this color mechanism. The one which I am using it is highlighting directories in blue color. But let's say if it will not highlight it in different color, then how will I get to know which all of these are files and which all of these are directory? So for that, we have another variant of this command. So we can use switches. Switches are nothing but a extra functionality within that command. So I have one switch, and for using that switch, you need to use minus command, and the switch is minus L. If I will run this command, just a minute, guys. If I will run this command, it will provide me the details of these, if these are files or if these are directories. Let me run it. See, now it has printed the name of the files and directory in the rightmost column. Okay, and how will you get to know if these are directory or not? You can see in the first column, if it is getting started with D character, that means it is a directory. Otherwise, it would be file if it is getting started with the minus sign. Okay, so this is one of the way you can check it. Another equivalent of ls minus l, I will tell you because I don't want you to get confused. I can write it in a short form like ll, long list. This is a short list and I want a long list. Long list is nothing but a equivalent to ls minus l. If I will run it again, you can see the same output over here, right? So what is this output? This output is a very descriptive output related to this particular file or directory. So this is showing me the permission, that what all people are having which permission over this file, who is the owner of this file, size of this file, modification date of this file. I don't remember what all these links right now. You can Google it. What is one here? What is 197.121 here? But rest of the things I know. 18 is size, and this is your modification date, right? Now let me cross check. Okay. Now let's say you want to create one directory. Then what is the command for that? If you have to create, like in Windows, you will simply go and do a right click and do a new folder, and then you can create your you can folder over here, right? Similarly, we have mkdir command in Unix, which is corresponding to make directory. Okay, and we have to make a directory, and then we will have to give the name of directory. Let's say I want to create a directory with name test1. Okay, now we have to cross check if the directory got created or not. We can again run long list command, which is ls minus l. Okay, let's make a habit of ls minus l rather than ll. Okay, let me run it. ls minus l. Now see, it printed me that at 11:29, which is my system time, at 11:29 it created test1 directory. How do you know it's a directory? Because it is getting started with D character. Similarly, you can see it in the backend also. See, this folder I have created just now at 11:29. CD correspond to change directory. I want to change my directory. Okay. Before that, I want to explain you one more concept. Let's say I want to see the hidden files also. Right now, this ls minus l is not giving me hidden files as an output. It is only giving me the file which are not hidden. But I want those hidden file also. Then what will you will have to use? You will have to use minus a switch. So we will use minus l, and with minus l we will use a switch also. So you can combine the switch like this, minus l and a. So what this a will give me? This will give me the hidden files inside my folder. Right? So these are the hidden references. I will not say these are hidden files, but I will say these are hidden references. So what are these references? Single dot and double dot is, single dot is representing current directory. Like I'm inside session, then what is single dot represents? It represents session directory. Okay, and if I will say what does double dot represents? Double dot represents a parent directory of our present directory. So currently I am inside session. The parent of session is nothing but desktop. Okay, so let's say if I want to navigate back to my parent directory, then what I will have to do, how can I denote my parent? I can denote it by double dot. If I will come here and if I will go back, this is the back button. Okay, this is the parent button basically. If I will click on this, I'll go back to my desktop. Again, let me go to session. Similarly, in Unix, we have to write cd dot dot. Dot dot here represents the parent directory. Now, if I will check present working directory, now it is desktop. Okay, let me again go back to session. Acha, in Unix we have one property. If you do not want to write a big name, you just write the initial character and then you can press tab. Okay, and tab will autofill that information according to its intelligence. Okay, so what I have done, I have just written cd. I wanted to jump to session folder. I have just written s E, and then I am pressing tab button, it will autofill that information. Okay, so let me go back to this session directory again, check in which directory you are. Okay, fine, I'm inside session directory now. Okay, so let's check over what is the another command. I have already told you what is cd dot dot cd test cd or cd. Okay, one more thing. Whenever you will log in inside your Unix cell, then you will log in by default into your home directory. Let's say right now I am inside session and I want to go to my home directory. How you will go to your home directory? We have two options for that. Either you can type cd or you can type cd tilde. Okay, let me first check cd. If I will write cd and enter it. Now, if you will check your present working directory, you can see this is my home directory, right? I am a user of this laptop and this is my name. So this is my home directory inside this laptop. Now let's say I am again going back to session and not session, desktop, and then session. And the another way of going back to your home directory is using this tilde sign. Okay, let me use this tilde sign. First of all, let me quickly cross check. I am inside which directory? I am inside session, but I want to go back to my home directory. I can write cd and then tilde. Now you can check you are inside your home directory now. Okay, let me quickly go back to our directory and check which is the other command to discuss. Okay, another command is touch command. This command is very useful. Many a times interviewer will ask you this question: if I want to create an empty file, how to create it? So the answer is touch command, right? So let's say how many files we have currently. We are currently having these many files, and I want to create some empty file. So in order to create an empty file quickly, we have to write touch and then f1.txt. I'm giving the file name. Let's say I want to create multiple file name at the same time. I can give the name separated by a space, f2.txt and f3.txt. Okay, we already have f1, so I will just create f11. Let me enter, and now if you will check how many files you have, see we got f11, f2 and f3 also. So this is the command which you can use for creating an empty file. And the another use case of touch command is if you want to change the modification time of this file. Like I will give you one example. Let's say I have modified one file and I don't want another person to know that this file got modified on this particular time. So what I'll do, I will use touch command, and using the touch command, I will change the modification time of that particular file. So usually the people will do it for a mischievous purpose. Don't do it. You will not have to do it in the production. But this is another use case of touch command if you want to change the modification date of file. I don't remember the syntax for now. You can Google for that. Okay. So this is the touch command. Okay. Now let's say I want to remove this file which I have created just now. So the command for that is very simple. RM stands for removing the file. After that, you just need to give your file name. Either you can give a single file, or if you want to remove multiple files, then you can give the syntax as well. You can separate the file name with space, and you can run the query, run this command. Sorry. Now, if I will cross check, you will see that F1 and F2 is got deleted from my folder. Now, let me give you a glimpse of using wildcard character while selecting a file or while removing a file. Before that, let me quickly create another file set, f4.txt. Let me remove this one for avoiding the confusion. Okay, now we are having F1, F2, F3, F4. Let's say I want to list down only those files where the name starts with F. Okay, I only want to list all those files, so I can use a wildcard character like this. F star. Star is here, which is denoting a unlimited number of string. That means I'm looking for the files where the name starts with F, and after that anything can be any number of character can be there. Let me run this command, and you can see only the file whose name start with F is getting listed over here. Okay, let's say most of the time we give extension at the end, so that just make it that a habit. We can give like this also. I want to see only text file, so this will also give the similar output. Just make a habit of doing it. Once you give your wild character, at the end you give the extension. It's a good habit. Similarly, we can use this wildcard character to remove these files as well. If I will just replace my ll command with rm command, and if I will write f star .txt, so what it will do, it will remove all the text file which is starting with f. Okay, let me run this command and quickly cross check. Sorry guys, just a minute. Yeah, so all those files whose name were starting with f1 with f got deleted over here. So this is the way you can delete the file. Now, how to delete a directory? Okay, so before deleting a directory, let me navigate inside test directory. Do we have something? Yeah, we have one file over here. Let me come back. I'm inside my session folder. Let me quickly cross check how many things we have. We have test directory inside this session directory, and I want to remove this test directory now. So in order to remove a directory, we have a command rmdir. Now you can write test, and it will delete this particular directory. Okay, let me run this. Okay, it got failed. Why it got failed? It got failed because the directory is not empty. It means if we will use our common sense, it means that rmdir will only delete those directories which are empty. Okay, let's try to delete this test one. rmdir test one. See, now we have not received any error. That means it got deleted. Let's quickly cross check. Yeah, the test one got deleted. Now the question arises, how we will delete this test? So there is a two way of doing it. One is either you go inside this test and check how many files or directory you have inside it. Yeah, we will come to that again. Just a minute. Where we were. Okay, there are two way of doing it. Either you go inside this test directory and check, do we have any file inside it? Yes, we have. Either you remove it manually first, then your directory will get empty, and then you remove your directory. But that's a long way of doing it. We have a shortcut of doing that. Let me again go back to the session directory and cross check. Do we have the directory? Yes, we have test. So the way of doing it is rm minus r and then test. So what is this r? This r stands for recursively, right? What it will do, it will go inside this test directory, and whatever directory it is having, it will start deleting them one by one. Inside the direct, let's say I have a test directory. Inside this, I have test1, test2, test3 directory. Inside test1 directory, I have f1, f2, f3 files. So in a recursive manner, it will try to delete those files first, and ultimately it will delete this test directory as well. Okay. See, at this time I have not received any failure. Let me quickly cross check if it got deleted or not. Yeah, it got deleted. So I believe one of the person has given one suggestion, rmdir minus f. I have never used it. It might be the case we can use it, Prashant, and we can test it whenever you are working on Unix. You can test this command as well, which Prashant has pinged. Okay. Okay. So let's go back and check. Okay, history. If you want to see till now how many commands I have run, you can use this command history, and if I will press enter button, you can see these many commands I have run till now. When I have opened this session, till now I have run 529 commands. If you want to see your history, you can do like this. And in Unix, you can use your up arrow or down arrow in order to navigate to previous command as well, right? The same functionality we have in Python as well, and in many applications we have this functionality if you want to go back to your previous command. Okay, Just a minute. History is also covered. I have already explained you the meaning of single dot and double dot. Please don't get confused. Interviewer can ask you this question, and this is very basic concept which you should know. Okay. Okay. So let's say we are inside session path, and in one shot, I want to go inside Sanjay Bedwal directory. So what either one way of doing it is you can enter cd dot dot in 2 times, cd dot dot and again cd dot dot, and now if you will check, you are inside Sanjay Bedwal. But I don't want to write my command twice. Okay. So what is the shortcut of doing that? The shortcut of doing that is you can write cd dot dot slash and again cd dot dot. It means I'm going back to my parent folder and again I'm going back to its parent folder at the same time. So this is kind of a shortcut. If you want to navigate in a single shot, then you can use this command. Okay, let me again go back to session folder. Okay, so what all other commands we have? I have already discussed what is RM, what is RMDIR, what is RMR. Let's discuss this copy. Yeah, this copy command will help you a lot in production. Let's say I have to delete this file. Okay, but I am not sure about it. That should I delete it or not? So what I'll do, either I will create a backup of it, or let's say if you want to create a backup of it, then you can use the copy command. The copy command is CP stands for copy. After copy, you have to give which file you want to create a backup. So you have to write that file name and with which name you want to create a backup. Let's say in production we usually follow this standard. Let's say create a backup, and most of the time we keep the date also, that I have created this backup on 2021-08-01. Okay, so let me run this command and it will create a backup for me. Let's quickly cross check if my backup got created or not. Yeah, my backup got created. Okay, let's quickly check. Just a minute, guys. Okay, yeah, we are good. I got confused with this 31 and 1, why the size is different, but this is not size, this is the date. This is July 31 and this is August 1. If you see the size of these two files are same, 5093 bytes, 5093. Okay, so we have created our backup like this. Now let's say you have to remove any file. How to remove any file or how to rename any file. So for both of these purposes, to remove a file and rename a file. Rename a file. For both the purpose, we have a single command, which is mv command. Okay. So let's say I want to move this file s.txt to desktop. Right now it is inside session, but I want to move it to desktop. Okay. So what is the command for that? mv stands for move. I want to move s.txt, and where I want to move it, I want to move it in desktop folder. So I can just copy the path and write it like this. Okay. So just a minute, guys. Okay. Why I'm receiving this error is because inside one of the folder, where was that comment? This is the comment, right? Just a minute. Why I am receiving this folder that this is not a directory is because if you see, this is one of the folder I have with name Sanjay Bedwal. Okay, and there is a space in the name. That's why it is giving me this error. So if you will have to escape this error, we will have to use single quote. We can use single quote. Let me use single quote. See, now I am not receiving that error. Let's quickly cross check if that file got removed or not. Let's check in the present directory. Yeah, I don't have that directory right now. If I'll come back, go back to my parent, let me go back to desktop and now check if I have that or not. lls.txt. Yeah, we have that file in desktop. So this is one use case of mv where we want to cut paste. This is equivalent to cut paste. Okay, let me again go back to session. And how many files do we have? Okay, let's say now let's take an example of this copy example only. Let's say now I want to remove this query.sql and I want to remove this backup as query.sql. So first let me remove query.sql. I don't need it. We have already discussed the syntax to remove. I have removed it. Again, cross check how many files we have. We have these many files. Now I want to rename this file. Okay. So to rename again, we have to use mv command only. So I will use mv. And after that, we will have to give the file name to which we want to rename. After that, you have to give the name which by which you want to rename it. So I want to rename it as query.sql only. Okay. See, this command got run. Now if I will try to list the files, I have query.sql. So just remember it. If interviewer will ask you what two things we can achieve with mv command, you just have to give the answer. Either we can use it for, it's not remove, it's move. Either we can use it to move a file, which is equivalent to cut paste, or we can use this command to rename a file.